forward to this one. I mean, this is the thing, right? When you look at these two lineups, you've got a lot of wombo combos and such from XG, but from what you do have from Tidebound, you got a lot of ways to bail each other out, right? A lot of saves. Everybody can do everything to try and make sure that they don't get caught in the midst of this big team fight that Xtreme is going to be able to be bringing to you. So Tidebound, they do have answers, but definitely feels like their lineup's going to be a bit more trickier to play to a victory this time.
Yeah, I would say like their execution is much harder.
Yeah.
While XG in a lot of these team fights can just click a couple of these, a couple of these big ultis, and if the Darkseer gets a good position to vacuum into an ice path or into a time zone, things can be really problematic because they do have that front line from the Darkseer, and weirdly to say this too, the Void, because he scouts, gives information to allow, your Dazzle or your TB to figure out how they're going to play. But that being said, Tidebound, I do like how they have this kind of skirmishing going on, but it does look a little bit challenging. Planet has made some really incredible moves on his Tusk, but he is playing into some difficult matchups. Playing into the Jakiro is one of the biggest counters for this Tusk. Attack speed slow, versus the tag team, ice path to set up in case there's ever a snowball. It's one of the harder ones, so let's see if they can execute it and if they can get these cool saves off. I mean, that is really going to be everything. If they can do some really interesting kind of counter initiations as well too with the let me see if I say this one right. It is Escape Act, by the way. With the snowball, Escape Act shields, they do have some cool ways to turn team fights as well, if they do well in their lanes.
And do they, like, overall, have they sort of responded to this first pick Dazzle well enough, do you think?
I'm not sure. Maybe. I think the Puck is a cool response.
Sure.
You're always able to get there, you're able to dodge the poison touch, but at the same time also, Dazzle has a Hex that comes out from the Nathal projection as well, too, so I'm not sure in total how that matchup is in the mid game. In the lane, I can see why Nothing to Say wants to play it.
Yeah, because it's just going to be a question of whether these heroes have it in them to get on top of the Dazzle and kill him.
I like
they do enough damage.
The repositioning we saw for the other day, right? I think it was XXS playing the Magnus. They would just RP or just Aghanim skewer him back over and over again. That seemed like a really cool approach. GQ. Walking up in the mid, saying hello. Delayed smoke on smoke action for the Rune. We could have a pretty big fight.
That's actually, I want to see that interaction now. I'm trying to think if I've seen that. What? Because obviously, with the Nothal projection, you have a limit to how far you can move from the body. What happens if that gets skewered away? Does the Nothal projection get dragged back with it? You know what I mean?
I think it just breaks.
It breaks? Well, it just stops the ult?
Depends how far, right? I think. I don't remember.
No, I don't think it stops. If it stops the ult, that's OP.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I imagine
no,
it must
probably
just
not, actually.
drag the Nothal projection with him.
I mean, the other interaction we were also talking about is, where do you time zone? Do you time zone the Dazzle or the Nothal? I think you time... I don't know, whatever. We'll get to see all these
We will get to see that one. I imagine it's just at where the Nothal's standing.
Yes.
Surely that's how you still receive the buff, but
I honestly
who knows, because the projection isn't really there. That's what makes it as strong as it is, right? It's just not affected by any negative things. So yeah, what does that mean for the positive stuff? We'll find out in the team fights.
I am looking forward. I think this 4-position Void just has insane potential in some of these fights, right? Look at the spells that he has on his team. They have a lot of spammable ones in those fights too, so let's see how these lanes end up going.
Yeah, I imagine it will still be a pretty good lane for XM. I don't see the Puck eating him as a Dazzle.
I feel like you just don't play really that much on the poison touch. You just play on your heal and you play to right-click the Puck, and if he ever phase shifts, then you poison touch him. I definitely feel like XM will be pretty okay in this matchup. I mean, Dazzle's just insane.
And what did you sort of make of the last pick? They're going for the Sven as the carry.
I think limited options, right? I think they were looking for something that just has big explosive damage, but also can just deal with the lane. So I think there's not many left, because I think Fear was talking about as well too, where they pick this Darkseer, and usually you want these illusion cores or a Morphling or something along those lines to be able to counter the TB, but you can't because there's a Darkseer. So yeah, you're just limited. And yeah, I don't know, Sven has some cool potential. Dying. Will be able to TP himself out. Jin Q is doing some interesting fixing of the lane, as you see.
Yeah, he's dragged it
all the way back
deep
here.
up to the tier 3.
Yep.
We'll be able to wipe out that entire wave, though.
Nothing to say. Yeah, this is another thing about this matchup too, is Puck not really the highest armor by any means. XM can definitely bully once you get even a couple stacks of the weave.
Yeah, and you just have kind of infinite sustain with the bottle charges as well, so it's very unlikely that Nothing to Say is ever going to really be able to even bring XM down low in this matchup.
Yep.
XM's just going to constantly be full HP.
The only way is that if there's a rotation from Planet in
Yeah.
particular, right? As you see Planet right now trying to get aggressive up here. Difficult lane to get too aggro onto the Terrorblade. I'm looking forward to so many things in this matchup, actually. I think we're really in for a treat in those. Once we get those big team fights, of course, for XG, but also for Tidebound, if they can get off to an advantage. See if they can make those quick moves with their skirmish draft. This top Planet looking for Ame.
I got him trapped in the shots, and that'll allow them to get him.
He didn't get the stick. Yeah, I think he had a 7 stick charge. He didn't get to pop it in time. A little bit too much extra damage on him.
Good moves there, being able to punish him as well during that metamorphosis. So, realizing that at this point, they did have the damage to get in on top of him. Not enough that Undyne could do to slow them down.
I mean, Planet, he's probably my guy to watch in this early game, because he's just had some incredible Tusk performances. Not even just at this tournament, just all time. Always a big fan of watching him play it. This bottom lane just looks so funny. Because it's just Jinkyu, look at him. They don't want to do anything to him because he can just time walk. As level 3 is about to be hit for XXS, and that's when they can potentially look for those more aggressive plays onto Y. Watching Darkseer just have this kind of sustain is so crazy as a hero, because his new innate. He always feels like he has like full mana and full health in the laning phase, unlike in the past where it felt like he had 0 mana always. Is why we're seeing it prioritized in a lot of drafts early on. Or at least in the bans.
Shiro, not having too much pressure put on him yet, though. He's getting a lot of denies still in the matchup.
Not just yet, but when I'm looking at the overall of the draft too, there's a lot of magic damage for this Sven. So the Warcry, it has uses versus the Terrorblade and Dazzle, but Darkseer, Jakiro, and that Dazzle can definitely provide that extra bit to go through him. Even though they did get that kill top, definitely seeing that Faith Beyond Bach is struggling in terms of last hits. They might be able to get another kill though. Planet gets the connection. Looks like they've got Undyne.
We'll see mid. Nothing to say. They'll tick down pretty low, but yeah, indeed these two up top, finding these opportunities to get kills, which yeah, they do need, as you say, with Bach in the lowest right now on the last hits. Trying for XXS.
He should be fine. Planet already starting to make another move. So shifting toward perhaps the mid lane, maybe getting some stacks going first, so it's just going to be a stack for him. But Boots early on this Tusk to make for those early rotations, potentially to look for the Dazzle once they've got the Puck Coil. And nothing to say, I mean, he's still doing fine, right? He's 26-2. I actually thought it could have been worse. I thought XM was going to bully him a little bit more. Ame.
I won't be able to quite get in onto them whilst the meta's up again now. Giving that a little bit of space. XM has now hit the 6, so
Here it
it'll be difficult to make rotations onto him.
And Power Rune, it's gonna come, that rotation. We'll see which supports end up making the first move. Planet already starting to shift over. He's gonna be spotted from a ward as it's expiring. It's about 5 seconds left on this ward, so they see the Tusk making the move toward mid. They see him ward as well, so he's gonna get dewarded.
Looking at mid around the 6-minute power runes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gonna be up top. Planet there to secure it. They're shifting 3 heroes on the side of XG. He's gonna have to grab it. Can't save it for the puck. Oh, I just thought about it. Actually, kind of cool combo too that they have on the side of Tidebound. They have the puck plus the Ringmaster, right? So they do have the way to break it with the Tame the Beasts with the coil.
That's
a couple
true.
situations.
Yeah,
it's not the best,
nice.
but right, but something. I've just been wanting to see more Ringmaster, just because I'm unsure of the potential of this hero, but some players are just specialists. I mean, we saw Whitemon absolutely dominate on the hero the other day. Planet.
Not looking for Planet here. Coming in with a Nothel projection, but the shield comes in from Bach, so Planet's going to be fine.
XM getting slowed now.
They
Here
can
comes
punish
nothing to
this.
say.
They've got the Dream Coil out of the 2 of them. will get snapped. XM trying to run. Tame the Beast connects. XM goes down. And pushed a little too aggressively there, Xtreme. Really trying to force for a support kill with that Nothel projection.
Jinq, he's able to snatch it. So they do lose their Dazzle, but they're at least able to steal that XP. But looks like they're also going to lose Undyne.
Undyne, taking the ice path off. But indeed, with nothing to say, coming over to help out, he will go down. So the kills continue to flow in for Tidebound.
Nice moves. Good reaction there. Overextensive play there coming up from the side of XG, trying to punish. Look for that dive up top, but they've got sustain. That's a shield, right? Shield onto Planet, immediately turns. It's able to get the follow-up of the puck. Something we always have to keep tabs of is these saves, as there's 3 of them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Good start, a very solid start for Tidebound. Exactly like they want to start in this game, is getting an early advantage versus this slightly slower lineup, and I mean slightly slower team, let's be honest, right? XG, a bit of a slower paced team in most situations.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they're going to want to farm for sure at XM.
Why?
He's going to try and make the play here, but Planet is here to back him up.
But why? He's taking an insane amount of damage.
He's just dead. See if they can punish XM, though, towards the end of this. They can.
God, Planet almost dies as well.
He might still die. They get the ice path onto him. Planet, caught by the dual breath, will fall. Ends up ticking out the damage from XM, so XM dies. Still gets the double kill out of this, though.
Dude, the damage is just, it's so crazy from this Dazzle.
It's a lot.
He's got items. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he's just got the treads at this point. This is the thing, right? Once he gets past that Aghanim's hurdle, then yeah, it's good luck fighting into it.
I feel like most other heroes would have just died so much fast, not been able to, like, that was just crazy. At least they get him, but yeah, gets the double out of the exit there. Now he's got stacks to go back to as well, so it looks like they're going to at least farm that up, so he's got a little bit more. We see also on the side of Tidebound, they're getting all these stacks at the ready for the Sven, who's having a very good time. I mean, Shiro, Mask of Madness is done, level 8. Top of the net worth at the moment.
And for now, Arme, I would just stick away from the top lane whilst the supports make moves. Can't afford to show himself against Bark and Planet.
Yeah, let's see where the next move actually does come out, because for XG, see if XM wants to continue trying to pressure, because that is twice now that he's gotten kills, right? But he has gotten picked off even though he used that Nothel projection. Looking for Shiro.
The wall drop down. Shiro, nothing to be done to save him here.
So much damage.
And it's very easy to feel very helpless when this Nothel projection goes for you when you've got no one here to save. Like, you're just dead,
You're just
and you
dead.
can't do anything about it.
Yeah. They
can't fight back.
They have to be prepared for every one of XM's movements, it feels like. Honestly, with nothing to say, it feels like the puck has to be there to get to that back line. Him or Planet.
Oh, Dream Call. Oh, Cashin Cube, they'll kill him.
Good kill. Bottom tower, though, looks like it is going to get brought down. Ame still sticking around top next to Bak. Doesn't look like they're going to bring a third hero. Planet is shifting top. Maybe they look for Ame with that, but he does have Sunder. And XXS, he's going to just go Crimson Guard this game. So looking to just block that damage in particular from the Sven. He can probably just do full auras this game, since he's playing that 4 Protect 1 with the Terror Blade. Mid. Good usage of the illusion here. Extra tanking for the catapult.
I do have the 6s online now on the supports.
Yep, Jakiro and Void both have them at the ready.
So these two can hover around mid, start to provide some sort of defense.
Who's going to be the Boots of Bearing buyer on the side of Tidebound? Planet's got the Blink queued up again. Maybe Innocence has to do it on the Ringmaster. Usually not the ideal one, but you want to have somebody with it versus this time zone. Or at least somebody getting prepared for it. But I think Planet, I like him, like the Blink is just, needs that distance to be able to jump onto XM or get the save, so I do like if he goes that. Mid?
Dire's bottom tower is under
Big team fight is ready for XG. Not quite able to punish, though. These double saves are right behind the puck. Here comes Shiro.
He's going to start to get the Dream Call onto the 2 of them. Impale Lance as well, down onto the Void. They've got the stun from Sven coming in as they clean up Jinq, turn towards Undyne with the God Strength, but now they can look for XM. They get the 3 of them.
What
An
a defense.
easy defense.
Very easy one.
But Tidebound.
Yeah, perfect, right? They just jump, they catch the 2 supports because they're playing pretty far up inside that coil, and then just easy follow-up to get onto the Dazzle there.
Yeah, killing him pretty easily. I mean, of course, this is the thing, right? With this skill build, still doesn't have a point in the shallow grave, and that could be quite an important part of the ultimate, right?
I was
essentially
surprised.
Extends your survival for 3.5 seconds with just level 1 grave. So yeah, hasn't got that skill quite yet with this build.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing when he was hitting level 9. I was like, maybe he is going to put that last point into grave because they've been able to get on top of it.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
3.5 seconds more of pressing your spells, you get another round of Shadow Wave off at least.
Or you allow your team to get there in time, right? Because
Sure.
XXS was TPing in. There was definitely maybe, I mean, probably not, but a chance if he is able to get there in time. Nothing to say. Working on this big stack he's got here. We'll be able to clean it up. His farm is really good. The puck answer so far is looking really nice versus the Dazzle. Sharing the lane, it was slightly advantage for the Dazzle there, but nothing to say. 3-0 and 4 so far. Another coil to catch.
Try and run. He should be tanky enough. Another hit though. Xingqiu, he'll jump in with the time zone. So they've got enough damage to fight back. Escape Pack given time for nothing to say to break out of the time zone. Why? Will fall. The planet's in with the punch up. Xingqiu gets punished. And nothing to say. He's going to be able to continue to jump out with the orb and run away. He's going to be fine.
He does look like he's okay. I was like, oh man, he's got the double dilations on him, but it is enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, they're getting away with a lot of these plays, and just this little bit of involvement that we're seeing consistently come through from Shiro, it's putting him in a great spot. He's going to have a very good timing on the Blink Dagger after this Mask of Madness Echo. Yeah, this is going to be looking like 15 minutes maybe where it's level 12
Super
and has
high
these
level.
3 core items. This Sven's pretty scary.
Absolutely. This is crazy how high level it is, really. It's level 12 on him. Him and Nothing to Say truly are playing this super nicely. Same thing for Planet, involved in a ton of kills here. Bach, he's been a bit quiet, but he doesn't have to do anything, right? He just has to be top and not die while his team is able to make these moves. And honestly, they almost even found XXS there. The damage that came out between the two of them was pretty significant. So far, the pacing from Tidebound is good.
Absolutely, I think so far, XM, it's 3 deaths.
Yep.
The Dazzle's game has been slowed down.
Which I think everybody at home likes to see.
Sure, because this hero can look ridiculous.
Ame, they might also be able to find him here. They've got the ward.
Has he got any way out of this? Caught in the shards. The Wheel of Wonder dropped down into the silence. No chance for Asunder. He gets caught.
And they get out of here. Nothing to Say instantly.
Planet! Yeah, he'll burn out in the Macropire. Why? He should die for this one. So they'll get the 2 supports.
They got who they wanted, though. They got Ame again. Nice little Manta dodge from Ame on the Tame the Beasts, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't end up saving him anyway.
Yeah, it really is just the thing that Nothing to Say is just getting away with it every single time. 5-0-4. They're not killing the puck.
And Shiro, in the meantime, is like, thank you, team. Great
free farm.
plays. I'm free farming. Complete free farm for him. Almost 10k net worth at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, they've really aced this opening here.
Absolutely.
Tidebound.
Yeah, I'm really liking that puck. That first pick, right, that answer, it just seemed to be working really nicely here. Yeah, we saw the Manta there, but not quite enough to save.
I will see now. They've got the Aghanims online for XM.
All right.
So a big jump up in the potential of the Dazzle and the team fights now.
Shiro already has a blink, so he's got a way to get to the back line, too, early on now.
Are they going to be able to catch the Darks here straight away? But then it's the Grave. Time zone gets laid down. They've got the wall as well. They're ready to turn, kill off Shiro very easily. Xingqiu jumping forward, ready to start setting up for more. As I don't know if they can fight now without their Sven. They've got to try and run. The Escape Act giving some chance here for Nothing to Say to get out of this. The phase shift to drop the coil onto the 3 of them. Orbs back up, tries to jump away to safety. He's going to make it, but Xingqiu's ready to chase him down. Nothing to Say gets the blink off. He'll live. The puck survives. Time dilation back again down onto the 2 supports. They'll run down Planet. Ooh, still managed to clean up the fight in their favor, but didn't quite get the puck. Still, they'll be happy with that considering the way the last few fights have gone. They're able to strike back. It's a solid fight around the Dazzle's Ags.
And they actually take a full team fight, right? Rather than like a small skirmish. That's where Tidebound excels, is those small skirmishes, but this is that 5-man team fight that comes out from XG, and probably the worst target to start on, actually. They jump the Darkseer, who has a Crimson Guard and a Dazzle behind him, so they're just able to freely set up with their spells. The Ice Path catches 2 or 3 heroes immediately. Game is completely swung back. Totally into
It's going to be a big swing.
Position. mean, it was a perfect, like, pretty solid 13-14 minutes, but
It
now...
was. They had like a 4K lead, right?
Yeah, you've got to just be careful about who you jump in particular. Like, Shiro, I really think, like, he had the blink, but, yeah, jumping onto the Darkseer definitely not the right one there with the Dazzle behind. It's the power of this lineup for XG is those big team fights. And next itemization, it looks like it's going to, yeah, pipe from XXS as expected. It's just full auras to be able to counteract that damage. He's going Lotus very early on the Ringmaster. Okay, I mean, wanting the Dispel versus the Time Dilation in particular.
Yeah, I guess more saves.
Yep, and ways to protect versus Sunder, I guess, in a way too, but does mean it's going to delay them having any boots of the bearing to deal with that time zone as well too. Or perhaps not even buy it.
Dire are scanning.
Shiro, still very farmed, but that's slowed down his momentum massively. They do not want this game to slow down too much on the side of Tidebound. They still want to be able to get aggressive moves to connect, but now the ults are going to be back up already for the side of XG, so difficult to force a movement unless you have information in the back lines. Because you got to know where that Dazzle is.
Radiant's top tower.
They can push on for the tier 1 top. Am I able to take this? They're smoking up behind him as well, so they're ready for a fight.
Nothing to say, continues to get these kills.
This tower's out. Xtreme. See how much they want to keep going. They're going to feel pretty safe around this area.
When they've got the whole team, I mean, they feel very safe to look for any of these fights. Nothing to say. Just, okay, playing aggressively into the enemy jungle. Almost level 14 still on the puck. Yet to die. 605 got saved in that last fight, I believe, from Y.
Yeah, nearly died.
Yeah.
Very close to dying that last fight.
It was like both, right? It was the escape act for him to reset toward that Tormentor, and then afterwards he also gets a strongman tonic, I believe, that healed him up a tiny little bit.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Bach, Fifth Beyond, about to have Radiance done, so will be a lot more impactful in that next team fight. You know, the one before, he kind of was just like a walking shield, not really able to apply too much pressure. And now the Radiance, it's going to be done if he wants to sell that branch. There we go.
XG, do they have any smokes themselves? Seeing they could. You know, they got smoke out Xingqiu. They could be tempted to go, on Undyne.
So Bach, Radiance is done, right? But always have to factor this in. There's Darkseer on the enemy team, so they're going to be able to turn that Radiance against him in a lot of situations too. That can be pretty annoying. And they also have Reflection, so multiple different things that can trip up or create that extra illusion.
And they've got the Atos now on Xingqiu as well, so yeah, Xtreme's very ready to look for these fights themselves.
And the Darkseer is going to be, yeah, going to be very hard to burst. At this point now with the Crimson, since he's always got the Dazzle behind. XM has the blink also, so he's got the crazy positioning.
And they're just avoiding it for now, Tidebound. They just want to get this, BKB, which is now done on Shiro.
He needs it.
So he feels very safe entering into these fights. Smoked up with the 2 supports. Just sitting there behind, nothing to say, just in case any sort of play is being baited, but Xtreme aren't really looking towards the puck at the moment.
Nothing to say. As you said, continuing to still have this flawless game. Feels like he has to keep it up. Looking at the mid lane, they might go for a jump here. They will.
Did they get the setup onto the 2 of them? Try and burst for Xingqiu first. They'll get him. Can they try and look to XM? XM's able to get the Grave off. And get the Micropile Ice Path down onto the 2 of them. XM's going to be fine, and now they can turn and kill off the 3 of them. And XM will live, walks it off. The backup comes in. I mean, it was a risky fight to take there, forcing it around the tier 2. Obviously, very tempting for nothing to say, catching the 2 of them as close together as they were. But they couldn't quite kill XM in time. And if you don't 100-0 the Dazzle, it'll probably 100-0 your entire team.
Yep. And he gets the easy Grave off, right? Positioning there as now nothing to say. That's his first death, and it's a big one. I really do feel like his momentum is going to slow down massively now at this point when he's not able to control this backline.
I see again.
I see it again.
But it's like, they got the 2 of them. They had to do a Xingqiu first and get the easier kill. But then going for XM, it's just not quite possible. He gets the Nothel projection off the back of Graving himself. And at that point, the fight's just completely over. You didn't annihilate the Dazzle at the beginning. You're going to lose the fight.
Yep. You need explosive multi-jumps to pop this hero before he can get any of these spells off. Not going to be the case. He has it level 15 as well now too, so even more healing / damage. And they're smoked up. They've got time zone available. They just got an Aegis. Ame perhaps wanting to join into some of these battles or wanting to just split away from his team while they do other things, as they are grouped up as 4. Crimson Pipe online too to negate a lot of the damage that can come out.
Look at the H1 setup. He's got a BKB. No, BKB concentrated. He's thinking about standing his ground to take down Xingqiu, and they will. They'll kill the Void.
Nice jump from Planet there, but Shiro, he has to run away with the rest of his BKB. 8 stacks of weave in an instant. That's God Strength used. They're actually eyeing up Bach. Perhaps looking for the tower instead. There is no glyph available, so they should be able to set up for this one. They know that Shiro, no BKB, no God Strength is not going to turn up to the fight.
Yeah, they're getting away with a lot now, XG. Still very close on the numbers, but you can definitely feel the pressure.
Yeah.
Taking these tier 2 towers out, just 22 minutes in. It's going to be the last one that Tidebound had.
And this
dropping.
This next big item for Ame too is one of the best ones that he can get versus a Sven. If he's able to get this butterfly in the next few minutes, it's going to be a huge issue for Tidebound to deal with. I mean, it's already starting to feel like that looming pressure of this draft. It's really there.
It definitely
That's
is.
4 Protect 1 with heavy team fight. It's got the coverage for Ame.
It's not going to be an easy game for Shiro to carry.
No.
He's in the top spot, but can he do it against this terrifying lineup?
Because he's going to get the Revenant Brooch, right? Pretty soon.
He will.
But then the butterfly is almost going to be there, almost complete for Ame, right? So it's going to be all about these like quick little timings if they're able to find the opportunity. But they are getting watched by wards at the moment. It's going to get taken out. Y will find it. But XG wanting to use the last bit, or the last 2 minutes of this Aegis. They want to fight. See who they're going to be able to find. They're cutting across the river. The Wandering Whirl. Undyne is fast. They'll find why.
They're going to find him. It's very easy for them to get these kills now, Xtreme.
Are they going to... I mean, they don't have a wave down here. I was going to say, are they going to try to poke something? But their wave possession is not good right now. Octarine almost finished up for XM.
What's the plan here for Tidebound? You know, they sort of saying we've got to group up and go and try and do something, catch them off guard. And they just keep hitting the creeps, try and get to some sort of crazy like 25s with like the puck.
I think they have
for the late game.
I think they have to. I mean, either they can do that, wait for the super late game, I guess,
yeah,
with the puck, something along those styles, or just try to. It's so hard with their draft is get these lanes into a good position so you can get more information and look for a skirmish rather than a 5-on-5 team fight. Because as we said, for XG, their 5-on-5 fight is too strong for them to deal with. But it's hard for you to get these lanes in because you're playing versus Darkseer Terrorblade. So Darkseer just Ion Shells a wave. It's going to get pushed in. TB sends an illusion. It's going to get pushed in. You have to show yourself on Tidebound to shove those lanes in. They're going to smoke out with the timing. It is level 20 on Shiro with that Revenant's Brooch. Let's see if they can find a big catch. Looks like it's just going to be Undyne. XG. Posturing as if they want to fight at the moment.
They're always happy for one of the supports to tank that.
Yep.
Keeps Ame safe.
And now right now they have a number advantage, so if they do want to look for a fight while the Jakiro's down, it could be an option, but it looks like XG is still looking to wrap around for the catch themselves. Ame still has Aegis for 50. But that ward spots all of XG.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Tidebound, where do they head next? They could try and push towards the tier 2. I mean, they want to set up, I guess, for the Tormentor.
Looks like the Tormentor's going to be that call. Don't think XG is going to be able to make it there in time. They are TPing up toward this. Maybe they pressure the base.
They could do that. They know there's a chance
that... do that trade.
Yeah, Tidebound's going to try and play for the Tormentor. Yeah. So, sort of, yeah, just amp up the pressure.
Yeah, just start poking and force them, because you probably know that they are setting up for that Tormentor, since nobody has shown on the map from the side of Tidebound in quite some time. They just show Planet Bottom with some shards, but that's it. It looks like now XG is potentially going to look to set up for here. They're going to go top to go through the portal, perhaps, and contest it.
Oh, either that or they're just going to try and chase towards nothing to say, because the pings were made.
Yeah, did they see him on a watcher, I guess? Maybe they did.
Now, either way, they don't get either.
Nope.
So, yeah, it's going to be a freebie there for Tidebound.
Oh, look, nothing to say. Oh, my goodness. GQ gets the dilation onto him. There is no dispel for it. A coil comes out. He's in trouble.
Yeah, he tosses into the time zone. Nowhere for the puck to go.
With no dispel. He has dispel from his allies, but not on himself. He's just caught there from GQ. I guess they must have seen him on the watcher there.
Just continue to keep these two lanes really shoved in against Tidebound. And Tidebound, they did get the shard.
Feels like that's, yeah, like I feel like that's always gonna be, at least two lanes are always gonna be shoved because the TB darts are just impossible. You have to show heroes as Y shows himself. Xingqiu, considering the jump forward, he will.
So if they can get out of it, Tidebound.
Success. They might get both supports.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the lockdown onto Y here with the Atos. So he'll get caught and indeed off to the side. XM able to help deal with Planet there as he backs up Undyne. So the two supports to fall.
And there's that butterfly finish now for Ame.
It's fast.
It is.
It's solid timing. So again, Shiro is keeping up.
He is.
But it's just a question of whether that feels good enough as a Sven against the Terrorblade if you're on the same level as Farm.
Exactly. And look at his inventory too, on Shiro in particular. Yeah. Where do you go from here? What are you replacing at this point already in the game? It's not even 30 minutes, and now you're going to see that butterfly, and you're going to be uh-oh. Need to slot something in to be able to answer that.
It's hard.
It is not the easiest choices for Shiro by any means.
Ready to come in and start knocking at the base potentially here, Xtreme. Armin's going to feel very strong. It's just a question if they want to sort of wait out for the next Roche.
Probably the case. 40 seconds.
Yeah, pretty soon. Got some big eyes around the corner. Very close to the Gleipnir on Xingqiu.
They have the Lotus already on XXS also, so they got multiple different ways to protect the Terrorblade now too, besides these auras. You said it's close on the numbers, but it just feels like XG has majority of control in this game.
Yeah, I don't know about this patch, but I feel I've had a few games like this where it's like even on kills, even on gold, but I think most people would agree that it does feel that one team is very much in the lead right now, just because of the kind of the draft and the potential with it.
Whew, that was close. Yeah, just big wombo. This patch really is about like these big team fights, right? Huge wombo combos that can get off. So let's see if Tidebound can.
Yeah, let's see what they got here.
Let's see if they can do it versus the big team fight.
There we go.
Ag's done for nothing to say.
Yep. So not the protection. Yeah, it's going to be back up in 15 seconds. So likely up for this fight.
Oh, the scan
if
comes
Xtreme
out.
want to fight back.
There's an illusion. Smoke on smoke action. Can they find the back line?
Can they burst this dazzle? Stop XM from getting to play his hand.
Saw Ame. They broke the smoke on each other. XXS leading the charge.
Let's see if we get the grab on anything. Xingqiu.
Trying to force a response. Both teams just disengage.
Yeah, Tidebound just don't find the angle that they'd hoped for there. Xtreme were prepared.
They're like, we need to find they need to find somewhere. They need to find Jakiro and Dazzle because the Ice Path can ruin things a lot too. But more than anything, just the Dazzle in every situation needs to be caught first. As Roche hits up.
Xtreme probably can't quite just go straight up for the Roshan.
They might start poking it here.
Think they could try?
I think he can start at least poking it just to force movement.
Okay. Yeah, they're gonna just try and take it, see what happens. They are stronger right now.
It dies pretty quick too. There's that roar. Now Tidebound knows it's happening, so they're gonna reset outside of the pit after that.
XXS is gonna stay in there for now.
Oh, they're looking for a wraparound.
It might work as well with XXS showing. They might not expect this coming in from the side. They'll just get the Gleipnir hit on towards Bark.
Look at this wrap. Hey, look at the wraparound Tidebound's going for. Walking through the Ancients.
They're going for the longer wraparound.
Oh, yeah. The super wraparound. They're like, we need to find XM. Look at this wrap.
They're ready
They're
for
gonna
it,
see
though.
him.
Planet's in with a jump, but he doesn't find a connection.
And Planet's caught now. Shiro looks like he's going to be able to hide himself at the least.
By a little bit of time for himself, Planet. It's just a question if Tidebound want to try and follow up on him. They don't.
Nope.
They got to let him go. And Shiro, yeah, he's out of there. He's back to the base.
They got to sack the Roche now. They can't go for that contest. Very patient fight there from XG, positioning themselves literally all around those cliff sides. XM hiding in the trees, so as soon as that smoke breaks, he knows they're coming for him.
Yeah, it's just hard. Even with the levels in the farm that Tidebound's heroes have, it's just so difficult to fight into this draft from Xtreme right now.
Catch on nothing to say.
They're going to see if they can deal with him. They will lose Undyne. And nothing to say should be able to jump out of this. He'll have to use the Dream Core defensively to hold back Jin-Q.
The Aghanim's damage, not enough to kill Jin-Q. Shiro?
Get caught by the Hex.
Oh, he was about to blink jump, I'm pretty sure, and he just got hit by the dazzle.
Yeah, he was super tempted. He was eyeing it up.
Yeah, because he popped the God Strength. I mean, a little bit before that, actually, in fact. I don't know why that Hex is, to be honest with you. I don't know. This hero still insane. Ame, Revenant's Brooch. He's starting to get some damage built up also on his side versus the heavy Warcry armor. So that level 20 talent as well on Shiro.
And do you like this from XM as well? He was considering maybe actually also just buying the Hex on top of it as well as the next one, but he's actually settled for the Nullifier instead. Because he did buy the Hex recipe, but then sort of just he's changed his mind completely. He wants to get Nullifier instead.
Interesting.
Do you sort of see arguments for Nullifier over buying the additional Hex?
Well, Nullifier, it gives him multiple different things, right? It does provide a little bit of extra armor, which is nice this game versus the Sven, but also then that Dispel versus the Warcry till he has Shard versus these Yules, I believe at least we saw one. That's a cool build. It's pretty interesting. I always like to mention the extra armor because when you look at Nullifier, you think about it almost always just for these Dispels, but it gives 10 armor. It is a lot.
That's super difficult to kill this Dazzle now. They managed to do it kind of the 3 times earlier, but that was a long time ago in this game.
And he was getting trades out of it too. It's not like it was just them killing the Dazzle and walking away. They lost 2 heroes 1 or 2 of the times that they did get that.
They just haven't been able to get him until recently. No.
Yeah, just really feeling that difficulty for the side of Tidebound. They've got a Satanic now finished up for Shiro, but as you said, no True Strike to deal with Ame, really. Well, some, but not too much.
Ame, still 3 minutes on the Aegis. Start the...
Probably start poking.
Gotta try and bring some of the creep waves in. Backdoor protection is down at the moment. We'll force out the fortification.
There's a blink on the Darkseer now as well on XXS, so the jumps even more threatening now from the side of XG. Tidebound.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Base is getting sieged.
And tier 3's gone. Creep waves are coming in.
Wave.
They're coming in on the mid, the creeps. So backdoor's gone again.
Bach, Fifth Beyond's trying to grab the wave before it's at the base, but yeah, too late.
Look at the range racks. I mean, they kind of get in the melee as well here.
They sure are.
They can't stop them. So a full set of racks is taken just like that.
I'm sure they're like, they're probably saying, how do we approach these fights?
I think they said, what do we do?
What do we do? How do we get to this back line? It's impossible to get to this back line.
Again, you just look at they've got just as much money as Xtreme do. They got the same kills as Xtreme have. I imagine the leveling situation is pretty similar as well, but just what do their heroes do against their heroes? They can't stop them from taking a barracks from them.
They're actually ahead in levels by 2 on this side.
Well, Tidebound's even ahead on the XP.
By 2 levels at the moment, yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't just sort of scream, well, XG did get a pretty good draft. I don't know what does, you know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
this
is just the team fights. There's too much big team fight, and there's a Dazzle, which makes things pretty much impossible for you to jump the right target. I don't know, Owen. It's going to have to be some insane, just insane execution. As we kind of said from the start of it, it's a very difficult one to execute on the side of Tidebound if they are not ahead in this game. But maybe it is just going to be nothing to say, having to have this miraculous Ags.
I think that might be their best option. That's their best chance, yeah. If this puck kind of is able to pop off 25 and start carrying the game.
Shiro?
That's what they can look towards.
They got to do something because their base, again, it's going to get knocked on. 50 seconds still on Aegis.
Yeah, they pretty much got their Metamorphosis is going to be back up in a second. For Miona and Puck, so yeah, all eyes on nothing to say, I'd say. Shiro's got a lot of farm, but he's just fed. I've got more belief in this Puck doing something crazy to turn this game around.
The ban, oh my god, Bach almost just gets like one-shotted.
So the tier 3, it's just going down. We've got nothing to say. Make the jump. They're in as well with Shiro. Got straight pop. They look towards Xtreme. They're going to go with Shiro. He's getting destroyed. He's trying to heal up, but he's gone. The time zone gets dropped down as they've got to try and run. The root connects on the wall. Nothing to say. He'll be able to jump out. Planet will buy some time here with the safety of the snowball. But the ice path catches him. Planet falls as well. I mean, this is
yeah, what do they do? I mean, it's so hard. They got actually, what, a 4-man coil?
I mean, you can see why I'm saying I got more faith in the Puck than the Sven, you know what I mean?
He did a lot of damage. But yeah, Shiro now down for 75 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a BKB still at the ready on Ame, too. He did not pop almost anything besides that meta.
That's the fortification as well.
Look at the damage he was able to do just standing his ground. The weave just started to build up massively, and he just beats on everybody. There's the Sunder.
And just take the barracks. Again, they're only 3K ahead, but they're taking 2 sets of barracks.
And Shiro's still dead for 45 seconds. XXX is going to respawn. Do they want to stick in the area? They have meta back up in 20 seconds. They might wait on this high ground.
I mean, they're super strong. If they want to, they can. I don't know. They just got too good of a draft.
It really does feel like they just
they got a really perfect draft.
Yep. Perfect approach as it gets to these later stages of the game. Hex now finished up also for XM, so another thing that nothing to say. Nothing to say has to be super careful. It already seemed like a very difficult game for him as it progressed to this point. As now Planet.
Oh, Ame wants to go for this. And he nearly has it. My goodness, he really does. Nothing to say he's going to come in with the jump. Look towards Ame, but the grave comes out. Ame's able to sunder himself back up to full HP off the illusion.
Nothing to say.
He's still in trouble. He's got the phase shift. He's got to get out of it. A little bit of a jump will get him away, but Xinkyu, is he able to find him? Not the protection, looking for him as well in the tree line, but nothing to say. Will get the blink off to safety. He'll live. Shiro's going to jump in. Okay, kind of one-shots the Jakiro.
Wheel of Wonder.
But can he do anything more? So we'll turn towards next. Y goes down. Vacuum on a Planet. He's in a lot of trouble as well now. He's into the snowball. He's going to be able to get out of this one. He's not.
Shiro, is he going to jump? He's thinking about it.
I mean,
he gets caught instead.
Xinkyu's in with the time zone. Xinkyu will immediately die as Shiro just turns the go straight with the BKB, but now Shiro's got to run.
Can he get away? Looks like he can. All right, they get at least some kills here.
They're killing the supports.
Shiro's damage is pretty explosive. He does have 25 with that God Strength on the supports, as we see. But the cores, yeah, they're the problem. The two big ones in particular, Ame and XM. XXS also. Only 1 death on him. 5-1 and 10 on this Darkseer. And they're sticking over here. Meta is on cooldown, though. Ame, he's going to back up. They saw nothing to say. They have that Hex follow-up, XM.
Yeah, they can chill from... Oh, yeah. They're just going to walk up and get him.
He's on.
Oh, that's a rough death.
Oh, that's a really rough one.
That's a rough one when you're trying to take an outpost and you're not ready for them being ready for you. Walk up in a Hex. I mean, sure, the Hex wasn't there before, right? That was just finised up on XM, so maybe not expecting the instant catch.
But still, that's
still risky.
Like you said, that's probably one of the rougher ones.
Because you don't even need that outpost right now. What's it going to do for you?
I mean, honestly, even without the Hex there, they potentially can just catch him anyway.
Sure.
With Jakiro and the Dazzle, just if they get that first poison touch off from the Nothel projection. Nothing to say. He might just have to buy back.
That's rough, and he was their big hope right now.
He really was.
To carry this game. That's why he's caught as well.
Here comes the push. They're gonna maybe just have to buy back on both and go for that big fight. Shiro, he's smoked up. He's got his MKB. He fully purchases out.
Okay.
Let's see if he can do an explosive catch.
There's the meta. He's going to drop it. So with the jump, they're going to try and burst through the Terrorblade armor. It's going to be able to force to the side, but he gets dragged back by the Hurricane. But Thunder's there. He's back up to full HP. He'll try and stand his ground against Shiro, but he's still falling low armor. So continues to retreat. Can he stay away from this Sven? The stun comes out, but the BKB's there. Arme ready to turn for the meta, destroy Shiro. Now looking over towards back, but backs in onto him. Another Sunder. Arme back up to full HP again. Arme will continue to survive. They can't kill him. They get close. but they can't finish the job on him, Fogged.
I mean, almost, but yeah, the 4-staff resets. He's able to get the BKB Sunders twice back-to-back. Undyne, you know, he kills him, but it's well worth it. Ame able to stay his ground, and now that was their big jump. That was everything expended.
They don't have the buybacks on these two.
GG.
It's over. Well, there we go. Pretty perfect draft from Xtreme, I dare say.
I mean,
I really liked it.
Yep, Tidebound, I think overall, I think their approach is decent. It's just it's difficult to execute, as we see. Into this draft in particular, they were trying to make the moves, but it felt like they had to get ahead. They had to get way ahead. It couldn't be an even game. Had to be some like 5-10K gold lead, maybe.
Look, see what we get here going down in game 2 between Tidebound and Xtreme Gaming. And indeed, yeah, once again, you know, Tidebound, they do like their saves, right? We saw that kind of in their lineup from last game. Didn't really work out too great for them there. Here in game 2, are you kind of looking at this game also with a bit of a sort of skeptical approach when it comes to what you're seeing from Tidebound? Like, what, do you believe in this lineup more than last game, or are you still worried?
I think I believe it more than last.
More than last game.
Just because they have that, you know, the potential with. I think Nature's Prophet's also just an insane hero. So I think this hero can do a lot of crazy stuff, as we saw Malrine manipulating creep waves and just sending Wrath of Natures and all this crazy stuff. But I think XG got everything they wanted. I'm like, I don't know, I'm like completely on board with how Fear was talking about it too. It's just team fighting looks difficult. Lanes this time look difficult as well. Yeah. And there's going to be a Veno that comes out with a potential, let's say, I mean, I don't know what Xinq is going to go, but this is one of those games you can rush the Orchid if he wants to do, which I've seen a couple do, and you're versus Ember. It's fantastic. And this Ember's lane is going to be very difficult. You know, they did this by choice, picking the Ember versus the Sniper. We've seen teams literally dodge the matchup, right? It was Amar playing off-lane Ember the other day because they didn't want to lane versus the Sniper. So let's see if Nothing to Say can have a bit of a better time and then utilize the Ion Shell to get a bit of a snowball. But again, yeah, looks difficult. Looks like an uphill battle for the side of Tidebound.
Now let's have a look. And yeah, this is the good old jungle Veno. I mean, one thing I've got to say, why is it that this does seem to be just working? Because one of the reasons, right, that junglers as a concept for the most part don't really work in Dota is because somebody is getting sacked on their lane, they're having to play on their own. So how come when we've been seeing these Venos, you know, and having good success, it is like this poor offlane that's on his own just not getting completely destroyed? Like, why has that not really mattered in the grand scheme of the whole game?
I think we've been seeing a lot of offlaners just get destroyed in a lot of games anyway.
Sure.
But that being said, I think it's just the fact that Veno farms that fast.
It just compensates.
Nothing in the game can jungle at the rate like this hero does because the wards are piercing damage, so they just work on neutral creeps that much better. And it's an insane pace that you can set. It's literally, like I said before, it's like level 6 comes by about the 5:15 to 5:30 mark. So it's just super difficult to punish. I've actually been thinking, like, do you try to chase this Veno in situations? But no, you can't. Because if you run into this jungle and he has 9 wards on him and he gales you, you're dead. Almost any hero just dies. So.
I mean, well, can you not sort of play some sort of like bounty and just like hover around him? Is that not annoying enough to ruin his game?
I mean, maybe. I'm not sure. We've seen players have, like, nobody's contesting the Veno jungle. No. Right? So it's saying a lot about it. I gotta not. I'm just gonna be staring at Xinq in the jungle right now, by the way. So hopefully we're gonna be looking at other lanes. As we see XXS, he's just gonna start to stack up waves and pull because we know he's completely sacked. You see the build on XXS this game. He knows he's sacked. He's got boots level 1, so he's playing versus a Tide and Nature's Prophet Tusk lane. These boots are very effective.
And he's doing good stuff here, bro, because he grabbed this massive amount of creeps.
Yep, double wave. He's high-fiving a planet already.
So this is, all going to plan for XXS, right? Doing this on his own, solo, and being able to set up quite a nice creep wave for him to enjoy underneath his tower, nice and safely.
He's going to deny a couple creeps as well, too, from that Nature's Prophet. Planet will be able to soak some here, but... Yep.
I mean, this already just is, like, great. You know, right, on this top lane from XG. Being able to do this on your own. Another wave coming in as well. XXS, he's perfectly fine with this, and if anything, he's glad that he's on his own. He's getting this all to himself.
Their lanes look like they're going to be very strong. Bottom lane could be the one where there's a bit of a change up there between the two of them, but Disruptor and Ursa are very good versus the Darkseer to get these catches as well if he gets left alone even for a second. So, yeah, this approach is looking really strong already from the side of XG. Level 3 has been hit on the Tide.
Yep, 3 on the Tide, 3 on the Veno. So when they do this and you have to make the pulls like this, both of them are getting that much more XP. You look at kind of the duo on the side of Tidebound, right? Just hit 3 on Bark. But yeah, they're behind, right? It's level 2.5 on Y, for example. So just more XP's being found in this split manner where you have a Tide solo making these pulls and Venom hitting the jungle.
And look, Xingqiu can even start to get involved. So Baki shows himself, should be able to get himself away, but Xingqiu now is even applying extra pressure, taking away a camp.
Sure, yeah, can farm aggressively now.
You can tell he's done this quite a bit of times before. He knows, yeah, you buy the extra tangos, you buy the extra clarities, you started with Sage Mask Orb of Blight, and now you have Gale. So now this lane for Bak and Y is quite complicated to even step up. They might have to just do some jungle shenanigans.
And what are we seeing in the mid? Nothing to say. Does have a decent regen. Yeah, he's got
holding his own.
Got bottle charges, got tangos. So not too bad here. That's all here to start off. 19 and 2 against the 20 for free. He's doing just fine here on the Ember.
Yeah, maybe this is what you do. You try to get the wraparound with Y to get a catch on the sniper if he steps up too far and just leave Bak jungling.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, they're going to stack up the Ancients. Might get warded. I think we're going to see Undying place wards to stop the stacks that come out for the Darkseer because they know he's now fully jungling. So he's going to place one of these sentries here. Might get dewarded, but it'll do its job of blocking at least once.
Yeah, what do you sort of think about this Disruptor, right? Something that we don't really see. Well, we might see him die here.
He's got a glimpse.
He's able to play his way out of this. He might just be able to glimpse onto the Shadow Demon.
He's got buddies in the area. Nothing to say.
Undying will die. Nothing to say. He's going to be ready with the TP, so he'll get out of there. Why? Also going for the TP, but the shrapnel's upon him, so he will fall. XM able to pick that one up, so they get the kill, but they will get the trade. I mean, Disruptor, not a lot of people really wanting to be picking this hero right now. What do you think they're still for here? Because this is something we've seen from Undying. He has been picking a few supports that other people just haven't.
So, Ame taking a bit of damage there from the Ion Shells, so he should be okay. I think it was a double-faceted thing that he was, not the fast, sorry, double reason that they picked it. Versus Darkseer, it always has had its reasons to be picked because the glimpse into the kinetic field can be great to trap him, but also they saw Nature's Prophet. Yeah. So, you see NP TP into a fight, glimpse him, he's out of the fight, so. Besides that, I think it's also just Undying has his own comfort heroes like you were mentioning, right? Like he just sometimes likes to bust these out, as we've seen him play his Undying even as a first pick in some scenarios.
Because what are the weaknesses of Disruptor right now? Why is it not popular?
It's always the weaknesses of Disruptor, right? Just no lockdown. The ult can be completely countered in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
But when you don't have to do too much work on a Disruptor versus certain heroes, he is. I still find him to be quite good. I think versus Darkseer and Tidehunter also, those can still be exceptions where Disruptor can look decent. As they're bringing Planet bottom, so they want to look for these dive plays with the Ion Shells.
Arma's going to start onto Y.
Sure is.
Dive in for Undying.
Xingqiu is level 6 and connecting.
Yeah, and Undying's able to survive through quite a lot of this. They're taking them some time really to kill this Disruptor. They're now TPing on Shiro. They'll turn towards Xingqiu. They will kill the Venom.
Double.
Let's see if Shiro can get Arme as well. Potentially Arme is able to bring down Planet, but Shiro turns towards him. They're getting the cleanup.
Nice.
There we go. Bringing in the numbers. Bringing in the carry. They'll take the fight, Tidebound.
Yeah, I love that Shiro comes down here. He needs to join because that looks like it could have gotten a little messy for a second there, but they get that good kill. All three of them get brought down. XXS, he's like, okay, I mean, that's what he's been doing the whole time anyway, just dragging waves. He'll get a good amount out of it, but a good rotation to Sandwich. And they get the kill on Xingqiu as well. He just came there as level 6 and gave them a hefty amount of experience. Good aggressive plays in this early game.
So if they can do that again, Tidebound. Just look for these opportunities to get Shiro involved nice and early.
Nothing to say. Is starting to truly struggle, though, in this matchup. He's starting to get, I mean, a couple extra CS, but he's about 700 behind the sniper. Does have a shield rune for the next go, though, so if they do want to look to make those surround plays.
They could try and dive something soon, especially with Shiro having the TP back up.
They have Wrath of Nature available too, so they absolutely could look to go for these type of plays. That is another thing that we should mention, Fear was talking about on panel 2, is the mobility. Playing the map is something that Tidebound can look to do with these TPs and aggressive remnants forward. Because there can be some lack of lockdown when you look at the side of XG on small skirmishes. In big team fights, they've got lockdown, but small skirmish, lack of stuns.
Bottom. They're gonna look for him.
Doesn't get up the hill.
He's looking pretty stuck here. No way out for Arme.
Very nice kills. Nothing to say, gets involved. Comes right back to the mid lane to defend.
Caught in a bit of an awkward spot there in the river. Stepped a bit too far up, Arme.
I'm liking the movement so far. Getting the stacks going as well, Planet. His connect onto nothing to say, but he's got a shield rune. Looks like tower is very likely to fall off of this. He's actually having rotations come in. He's healing. Do they have a third hero that wants to join? Looks like it's just going to go down.
At the same time, Shira was able to finish off the tower down bottom.
Is he done?
Tidebound finding the trades. Close start this time round.
I still just can't believe that XSS has gotten away with this, though. The boots first. He almost has his Vlads, I think, finished up. He was completely sacked, and he's level 7. It doesn't look like he was sacked.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy stuff, right? It's
Same
like,
that with the Dark Seed.
if they're ever getting the Tide, it feels like, if you see this team first with the Tide, right? Oh no, what did they first with the Venom, right?
Yeah. It was my
then you probably got to heavily consider taking the Tide away, because this seems to be like the perfect one for XXS to play this lane solo when he has a jungle Venom.
I was going to mention this too. I thought they actually might lane the Shadow Demon top to prevent the pulls.
Sure.
Because if you see the Tide with the boots,
That's true, that would mess with it.
The mind game thing probably got to, like, it's too much to think about. They probably wanted to have the SD bottom to try to apply more pressure than having the Tusk, but yeah, having the Tusk top just allowed him to go boots, pull waves, because there's no way to disrupt it, literally. And even though they get these kills on the side of Tidebound, we see the net worth. It's about a 2K lead.
It is. They've got 4 of these heroes in the top 6, very close to having 4 in the top 5. Coming out from Xtreme side of things.
And Jinkyu is going to do the Orchid route, as we were kind of anticipating. He did go for Arcane Boots early on, just to be able to have that sustained mana, but...
Yeah, I like the Orchid Rush from the jungle Venos.
Feels much better than the mechs.
Yeah, turning up with a mech or a pipe. Who cares about that? You want to turn up with the silence. You know, nobody's going to be ready for that.
Especially if you're into like Ember, right?
Yeah.
And your team does lack some lockdown, so.
No, the Orchid Rush feels good.
Yep. Should be able to get that in a decent time. Bach still very farmed. We see him, they're farming those stacks. That's why his farm went up so much. Planet just standing on that ancient camp with the Ion Shell. Got a lot of XP from it too, so Planet's actually almost level 7 because he got full XP from like quad ancient with the Ion Shell.
There we go, they're going to try with a smoke play.
Ion Shells, this is how you have to do it, right?
Sure.
Utilize Ion Shells on your double or triple melees. And try
they should have a chance of jumping XM, surely. Yeah, they're going to go straight for him. TPs are going to be coming in. Look at the punch up. XM will die. XXS gets the Ravage out onto the 3 of them.
Glimpse.
So as well to bring nothing to say back in under the tower, so they'll punish them hard. They take out the 2 kills. Going to try and chase on for more, but Bark should be fine with the Surge. They lose their sniper, but they are able to make them pay.
They were very ready. Instant TP coming out from the Tide. Ravage does come out slightly late though, so isn't able to protect the sniper, but they do get trade kills. And who got the last hits on it? Was it Ame? Oh, actually, Tower. Okay, Tower got the last hit there. I like that they're going those aggressive moves though. You have to try to make the moves with the Ion Shell with your cores that can actually use it. It's the whole point of the draft, right? The reason they picked that Ember is to use this Darkseer. Disruptor ult is up though. Undyne has it ready. Bach.
They can maybe try and catch the Darkseer.
Beyond has to be careful to not show himself. Does hit level 9, gets a decent heal, but there's the glimpse.
Let's see if they got him. Kinetic field down. Oh, Little Orchid then he runs back into it. Mark, is he able to get out of this? He'll live. Snubble comes out, Planet able to hold back Ame. Ame is enraged, still on cooldown for a few seconds, so he's ended up dead.
Bach has done it. Now Undyne still has the ulti.
He's gonna get the glimpse out on a nothing to say, but he should slowly, surely die. I mean, he's going to try for the TP. Does this actually get him out of this? No, but disruptions there.
That was close.
So Undyne will fall.
Great kills.
Couldn't quite catch the Darkseer, but it's a little too fast, zipping all over the place.
And now he's got mech finished up too. So they can absolutely look to join with the Darkseer with those Ion Shells now that he's got this too. It looked like Bach running into the wall.
Yeah, he just got run back into it.
Ends up.
I thought he was going to get stuck on it, but he was able to free himself.
Undyne hesitated quite a bit using the Static Storm as well too.
Sure.
Maybe that little bit of extra damage could have been enough. I know he wanted to not miss with the silence, but ends up costing them. XM.
With the chains on the turn, they're going to drop the wall as well onto XM.
I think they saw the Orchid now. So nothing to say, a little hesitant on how much he wants to jump forward. Nice damage onto XM though. He's down to less than half HP if the fight does kick out on top of him.
Yeah, they're ready for a smoke play here with supports.
Never mind. They had a salve for him. They'd shoveled one up. Planet?
They might self a Planet. Whoa!
Off the mark.
Oh, okay. They're still trapping though. So you got a way to roll out this. Oh, okay, everything's being pressed. They've got disruption behind him. A bit of safety. He's able to get out the side of it, but no way to push himself down to the low ground. So they get the kill.
They force
does take the static storm though.
Yep, they force quite a bit there. That little save that comes up from the SD. Although meanwhile, Shiro is not getting pressured. I feel like this is every game that we see Nature's Prophet nowadays. Just very difficult to find him on the map. He was always able to get that farm.
I think just overall though, the problem is for Tidebound, right, that they have the Ember falling behind a little bit, and XG obviously with their Venice jungle, they have an extra hero falling up. So it's like it's kind of scaling up to be 4 cores against 2. Exactly. That doesn't sound great.
And it's very similar to the kind of similar to the last game where it's like you do want to dictate pace. You don't want this game to slow down too much versus an Ursa sniper with 2 or 3 big teamfight ultimates to cover.
Yeah, very fair. A lot of money actually on XM as well. See what he wants to finish up first. He wants to get at least the force, yeah.
Makes sense, being able to reposition versus this Ember. And the Tusk get over those shards. Yeah, I mean, Veno, we're going to see him probably surpass most heroes in this game because Jinkyu is also one of the greedier players, so... Even steals an Ancient away from X. He stole the Ancients from XXX. Almost level 12. Yep, 4 cores truly building up and nothing to say. Still being, you know, left at the bottom a little bit here of these cores. Still no Mage Slayer just yet. Looks like they're going to smoke again. They don't want the pace to slow down too much. Tormentor coming up in the next 40 seconds. Probably the next fight that Tidebound wants to look for, but everything is up at the ready for XG, and they are set up already. Smoke on smoke. XG actually looking for grabbing a kill before this Tormentor does go down. They'll run directly into Bach. He gets himself away.
Tidebound, what do they want to do about this?
They're coming through the portals, but they've got a ward there already. XXS, he knows.
Yeah, they do. They get the static storm straight away down. On a ward, nothing to say. Defensive disruption comes out, buys him a little bit of time, but the Ravage is timed perfectly afterwards. Still not enough lockdown to stop him, though. There's nothing to say. He's able to jump over to Washing Q. He has to back off now away from Arme. Arme trying to finish off the Ember Spirit, but nothing to say. Gets another Sleight of Fist and a Remnant off. Will jump to safety. Arme will be able to turn to clean up the supports as Planet is taken out as well. Arme will live.
He healed so much from the Vlads. He actually just life stole like 200-something HP. I think it's what allows him to survive there with XXS. Looked okay at the start of it all, but then they only can clean up the supports again. I feel like it's the story of the series.
And maybe if nothing to say was able to get out, but you know, XM being able to peep him at the end. You know, he lived a long time through that fight. This Ember Spirit, they were dropping Static Storms, Ravages, didn't get him at the beginning. But yeah, XM keeping, making sure that they do clean him up at the end of it all.
It was really good plays from Y, right? He gets the Demonic Purge onto the Ursa, so he loses his overpower, and then he gets the Disruption during the Static Storm on the Ember, so he prolonged him for quite some time.
Still hovering around this this Tormentor.
They don't have the Ursa this time around, so I mean, Ame's running over to connect. He's got the Blink Dagger now finished, but ultis were expended from XG. Disruptor ult back up at 15. Bach.
They've got to try and somehow get on top of XM. He's doing a bit too much damage right now. Coming for the Twin Gate now. Arme's on the way over. Look at the jump.
Undying. He's got Disruptor ult up now.
And he's able to get it off. He's controlling the Ember Spirit. Arme's able to jump into the side. Again, cleaning up the 2 supports pretty quickly. The Snowball by a bit of safety.
Shiro
trying to fight back, but the Enrage is ready for Arme. He's able to tear through Shiro. And now they can maybe even look towards Bach. Bach's trying to finish up the job. Will manage to ensure that nothing to say kills Arme off. But Bach, he's not getting out of this. It's going to be another trade in which XG are coming out on top again.
Almost actually able to... It's so close to bringing Undying down before he gets the Static Storm. They end up surviving on nothing to say at the least. And I think that is his Mage Slayer going to be finished up. And they do bring down Ame at the tail end of it all. But this was without Ravage.
That was a little bit awkward point in that fight. I'm sure he probably would have been able to cut out the Sprout and kill the Nature's Prophet anyway. But Bach kind of vacuumed the Ursa out of the Sprout on top of... You'll see it at the bottom. He probably would have killed him anyway.
I think he was going to get him anyway.
But he kind of vacuumed him over towards the Prophet.
It happens. chaotic team fights is for sure.
Look, let's have a look, because we'll see it down here in a second. Look, Shiro's trying to keep his distance, and then that vacuum just drags him out of the Sprout and on top of the Shiro Nature's Prophet. So,
honestly, Planet Shards may have also done some weird stuff that may have pushed him to inside the Sprout.
That's true. It was probably a combo of the two of them, right?
It was like 3
the vacuum was kind of dragging him out the Sprout. The Shards were pushing him out the Sprout. Either way, Shiro didn't stand a chance there, thanks to his teammates' best help.
And now I think Tidebound can't make the move to come down to contestants.
No, not after those two fights.
No. There's a Ravage available, so much harder for them to approach it. XXS, like very kind of standard build, but deviating a little bit for the Tidehunter. The Mage Slayer looks quite nice this game versus the Ember Darkseer. Next item will be that Shard as well, which is very good versus, all 3 cores.
Yeah, that's
this Shard is good on versus every hero.
Timing,
really, definitely versus the Ember more than anything.
I mean, it's going to mean that they don't just have to sort of rely on Undyne dropping a Static Storm to give them a chance. Tough times for Tidebound.
Absolutely.
Nothing to say, falling behind. And we talked about the last game. He was a big reason why they did potentially have a chance, right? A lot was sort of weighing on his shoulders as the puck. It's going to be hard for him to be able to provide that same level of impact this game on his Ember unless he's able to have some sort of insane fight, because the recovery's being very slow from him. He's just not getting a lot of farm.
He has to put himself out there to start the fights, because him and Bach have to initiate at the same time, so it allows them to get these spells onto him. Yeah, he's definitely struggling in terms of last hits because of it. 96 only on the Ember at 18 minutes. He also keeps walking to jungle camps, and a Wrath of Nature bounces and steals them, so he's getting a bit of his farm taken away there from Shiro. They have a nice deep ward that I actually didn't see when Y placed this one, but they do see XM for a moment. They see where the sniper's positioning is if they want to try for something, but yeah, still very difficult to get there as all the ults are ready for XG. And Roche is probably their next.
They can walk in and take it, right? They've got the Ravage, they've got the Static Storm, as you say, so they're ready to cover a fight around this spot.
Planet can give them some scouting information, and they're all swinging over. Wall is down. Start to poke.
But who goes in? Who gets stuck in?
Well, now the wall's down, so they can just. They look like they're gonna reset. Did these wards actually catch them? I don't think it did, right?
I don't know if it's for them smoke.
I didn't see if the one on the cliff actually caught them.
Oh, that one did, I think.
You did? I think they were up on the northern trees.
Well, when they pressed it?
I don't know. Either way, it looks like they did see it because of the way they're positioned.
Yeah.
Roche is gonna start shifting.
They might still get caught.
Planet.
We've got the surge. We'll take him out of there.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Nothing to say. Hasting around. Dangerous. He's out of remnants. Does poke. He can get extra space. Shiro forces the lanes in. He's just spamming Wrath of Nature. He's not saving it for fights at all. He just wants to get that extra farm. Keep the lane shoved in a good position. And that Roche, they're not going to be able to just full commit for it since it did shift to bottom. Ame going full aggression. He's going for the basher before that BKB. How are the Yules looking? Planet getting closer to his Yules, so they will have an answer versus the Ursa since he's not going BKB yet. So that is one thing that could hurt Ame, since he is playing versus the SD and the Tusk. There is a fair bit of control that he has to worry about. And a Blink now finished up for Y, so they do have these double Blink saves if the Tide doesn't catch them into that Ravage. Do they want to smoke? They are.
They go Tidebound. They're going to give it a try.
They did see Jinkyu walking toward top. That ward that they still have placed in that deep position is spotting the Veno. Starting to get his team to connect toward him, though.
Yeah, it's hard to make the hit now.
Jinkyu.
See if they can take him down quickly. They get the lead in with the punch.
He's fairly tanky.
He is, and he's got backup with him. Static Storm gets dropped down. Shiro will TP in to try and finish him off, but Jink's able to force his way to safety. Now XXS is in on top of them. Ravage is there, sets up for Ame to clean up the both of them. Nothing to say. He's got to try and run away from this with the remnants.
That was his last one. Ame, he's got the blink up in 3 seconds. Nothing to say.
Of the Sleight of Fist to stop the blink for now. There's a regen rune.
Poison. Disrupt, but the glimpse is there.
It is. Drags him back into the silence. They tried. They went for a play, but yeah, this poor old Venno is not a poor old Venno. You can't
so
kill
much
him.
HP. I mean, 1800 HP with the solar, the force to reset out.
Yep.
It's even harder than last game. They just can't even make plays.
I mean, they got 4 heroes in the top 5 net worth right now here at Xtreme.
And now they get that roast for free. Yes, there's just no way for them to take team fights again. It's just, I mean, exactly like last time. There's no way for them to take a 5-on-5
We'll see this again. Really trying to at least threaten him, but Xinkyu's perfectly fine. Forces away. Shiro TP'd into a position where he just wasn't able to get anything done. And Ravage at the ready. Arme in with the backup. It was just all over.
Yeah, it barely even looks like they needed the Ravage there, to be honest. They're already right on top of both heroes getting cleaved down, but why not use it there, right? 10,000 gold lead. Now it's getting to these ridiculous
It's getting
levels.
crazy.
Yeah, nothing to say's game.
He's had a rough game, right?
It's been very hard. But it's
because he did all right in the lane, right?
He did, but they made this decision, though, right?
Sure.
Taking the Ember in this position, they wanted to get some type of snowball play, but when you pick it into the sniper, you just do all right. You're still falling very behind.
Yeah, and it's definitely because, you know, I think the panel sort of mentioned, right, one of the needs to get something like an Ember towards the end was due to the fact they really wanted to enable the fact that they had this Darkseer, right? And sure, it's given them the Iron Shell target to play with, but what we are seeing is, you know, it's very unlike the Darkseer of last game that Xtreme have. You know, but he doesn't really have any wombo combo to go with, right? The vacuum there's not really anything with it.
Oh, and they don't really have teamfight. Their teamfight is the Darkseer.
It is the vacuum.
It's a vacuum, and that's
on his own, yeah.
Well, in the
you
last
definitely
game,
feel that in these plays.
Was like, yeah, it was 4 layers of that vacuum on top of everything, too. So, yeah, I mean, Xtreme just masterclassing it again. It feels like with the draft and with the approach to the game as Bach. The bash comes out as the surge comes out.
I should be able to have him. They've got the glimpse. As Bach will fall.
Starting to make it look pretty easy on
They are. It's going a similar way as last game now. Maybe even more brutally so with the fact that just everybody's so farmed on Xtreme.
Yeah. I mean, this last game it was like 1K, right, in between, but it didn't feel like that 1K. This is 13K.
Now you're seeing the farm,
but this truly feels like a 13K lead, or even more than that. You see, the approach is just so difficult for them to, take any fight. And I'm sure they're feeling that pressure now at this point, looking how they're farming. Like, Y is farming bottom on the river on these croakers, and he actually might just get caught. They seem to know that he's down here anyway. Undying has the blink. Yeah, they're getting a pretty pick off here. Clean plays from XG. And the Basher's now done, so Ame, there was no real time for them to take advantage of the BKB not being there either.
Hey, Shiro. Just got to try and get that level 25 and start for the old Triumph Rack game. So, you know, 9 levels away. It's a long way to go.
No, I mean, this is one where they can deal with the tree. I mean, if he even gets to that point. Doesn't really look like he is going to get to that point. BKB finished for nothing today, but nothing to say. But as we said, it's so delayed at this point. Yes, he can answer versus the Ravage. He can answer versus the Disruptor ulti, but he's not doing much damage now.
Mate, ooh.
Shiro.
Yeah, just casually walks past each other. Where's the bash? There it is. Shiro is caught. Same time XM, he's able to just freely BKB TP away. He himself has no threat of any sort of bashes. Yeah, punch wasn't there.
Not there in time for Planet.
No.
Nothing going the way of Tidebound now at this point for the last 10 minutes, it feels like. Ult's coming back up. Disruptor ult is at the ready. Ravage is at the ready. They want to strike. No Nature's Prophet to even shove these waves out. Yeah, that's another thing I do have to highlight for XG. They're playing versus Nature's Prophet plus Darkseer, and it feels like they've had the lanes always in a good position.
It's been a lot of jungling.
Sure.
From Tidebound.
Sure.
Is that it just scared of showing? Well, I guess it's fair right against this Blink Disruptor. You know, you're showing the lane, you're going to get caught.
I mean, versus anybody at this point now.
Yeah.
XG, yeah. Showing the difference between the two teams, truly, in this series.
Yeah, I wasn't anticipating this to be such a one-sided affair, but it's ended up pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
This, you know, but from what we saw from Tidebound, it was like, okay, when these two teams meet head-to-head, might get something close going on, but yeah, we're definitely seeing quite the difference between what they're able to provide today.
30 seconds still on the Aegis. Crimson Guard will slow down the push quite massively. But XM will just continue to poke. They've got the Venom wards for the vision. They'll drop the wall just to push him away for a moment. But it looks like they can probably just swing to mid if they'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the team fight done.
Yep. Ame will actually just deal with the Treant. It is taking a tier 2. But his team likely to stick in this area. Can they go fight a 5v4? Is that like, I mean, that's their best attempt if they can go for something like that. But Ame can connect pretty fast as he is near that twin gate. And yeah, it looks like they're trying to at least get something, but there's Venom wards placed everywhere, so it's scouting them even as they walk outside. Ame looks like he's going to go for the shrine, and he might get handed a kill out of it too. And they're actually bringing more backup. He's hesitant, but he's got buddies as well connecting.
Can they kill him? He's got BKB, but he doesn't have TP. He does have backup though, and in fact, XXS ready to jump in aggressively and start to take the attention away from Ame. Now with further time being bought, and Dying can also join the fight, assassinating onto Y. Xingqiu's in with the ult onto Shiro. Shiro will try and turn and stand his ground towards Xingqiu, but Xingqiu's able to force out of the Sprout. They just can't fight back in Tidebound. They just have to start running.
They connected so fast. Can they all get away versus the Disruptor? It looks like they're actually going to be able to not lose anyone on the side of Tidebound.
Nothing says he's hiding in the trees.
Is he going to get found? XXS found
They
him.
find him.
He's got the leash.
How did they know?
I think the Venom ward maybe saw him for a second.
Yeah, someone spotted him out. He has to BKB and run.
And the catch in the back, Undying, just blinks in.
He gets the static storm onto the both of them. They've got the glimpse as well on towards Y. That's enough to kill him.
XXS.
Planet getting peaked here by XM. As Planet will buy a little bit of safety inside of the snowball, but they're on top of him and he can't get out. As Planet, he'll get Crimson Guard. Okay, maybe he will get out.
He'll get out.
Is able to save him. Buck doing his best, trying to keep the boys alive.
And yeah, we see that Venom ward as it ticks away. It was what saw them. Or what saw nothing to say. Forcing a BKB can't be. I mean, he needs like a perfect BKB for any type of approach for the fight. Has to just run with it fully. And the threat of the Ravage, they can't contest into this fight.
Yeah, making these plays easily without having to use all their ultimates now. Xtreme, they're that far ahead.
Octarine now finished up for Ursa too, so just continuing to dominate in terms of net worth. I love this build too, this Octarine build. Once you get that 25 and you're just Earth-shocking and applying Fury swipes on everybody, it becomes so ridiculous and hard to deal with.
Let's go for the Tormentor as well.
Yep, very soon. It's going to shift toward top. His team's connecting, and yeah, it doesn't look like Tidebound can look to contest it at all. Yeah, XG just keeping the lanes in a very good position for themselves, even though they're versus Ion Shell plus Nature's Prophet. Just, yeah, like you said, they've been stuck in the jungle for quite some time, it feels, on the side of Tidebound.
It's hurting their money. I mean, the farm on the cause of Xtreme
and Xingqiu.
Just, it looks completely unfair. Just look at them.
Look at Xingqiu, dude.
Yeah.
He's gonna pass a Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
And we've seen NP almost break records at this tournament. I think it was like a 1100 GPM one, I believe it was, at like a 60-minute mark for Malrine the other day.
Yep. I mean, it really seems like this was kind of their perfect pairing that wasn't a pairing, right? Just having the Veno with the Tide. Like, to the point where if you ever see XG come out with the Veno, I think you got to take away the Tide. Like, this hero just works so well on its own.
Yeah.
XXS, yeah, I don't know what else he could have been on that would have been able to achieve as much as he did playing the lane solo as he did as a Tide.
Or like we said, hindsight's 20/20, but putting the Shadow Demon top to prevent the pulls, right?
Sure.
Like sometimes
you could see what other teams make that adaptation.
Well, also because like the double thing, right? It's the SD to stop the pulls, and it's a Tusk with the Darkseer so they can actually use the Ion Shell in the lane, right? So there could have been, but that's all hindsight at this point, massively, as the XG approach doesn't seem like it was something that Tidebound had fully anticipated.
No, weren't completely prepared for.
Ag soon to be finished also for Undyne, so yeah, just getting even more and more answers for these poor heroes on the side of Tidebound. They got to get outside the base. They're getting trapped, so they're going to smoke out and look for a potential catch here. But Xingqiu is unbelievably tanky now, also with the Gale Guard.
They're going to try.
Throw everything on him.
They can. I mean, he's only now... Oh, what's going on? All right. Well, either way, it's taken them... Maybe because it's taken them so long to kill the Veno, they just assumed there was lag. They're like, this guy's not dying. We're all hitting him.
About to end, and then he can Solar Press Greaves. Yeah, he can Solar Press Gale Guard.
He's still alive. Finally, he falls. But now, Xtreme's ready to come in with the big punch back and kill off the two of them.
Hey, you got a big core of Xingqiu,
Sure,
right?
but it takes so much. It's so much time.
Shiro is like, I am not joining that, you guys. That's suicide. I'll throw a Wrath of Nature for you. Yeah, actually, it truly is a masterclass approach.
Yeah.
Into the high ground they go. Tide now, Anchor Smash affects buildings, so he can just stand in the front line as well. Take 0 damage from the tower and continue sieging even harder.
Up they go. Shiro trying to cut waves. I mean, Undyne's going to likely be able to force a BKB out of him.
Yeah, he might. Let's see if he just turns and tries to fight. I mean, this is kind of clever from Shiro.
Okay, Glimpse has been used, so now he can go. So that will work. Force out the Glimpse defensively, and then he gets the freedom to TP without having to BKB.
Ravage at the ready. BKB even on XXS for the front line. And they're going to get a rush. Another one.
Yep. This will be a free one.
Yep. Super comfort for XG. And the later, I mean, the longer and longer the game goes too, it's just better and better for them, right? So
I mean, they just have 4 heroes farming to their heart's content, right? Whilst on Tidebound, they're only really able to get farm on Shiro.
And not even in like the best kind of position, right? He's literally just been jungling this top side, it feels like, for almost the entirety of the game and just Wrath of Naturing. Now even Bach is starting to get to that very difficult part where he's matched nothing to say in farm 2. I mean, if Disruptor gets another big fight, he could actually surpass. They could have 5 of the top 6 pretty soon. Xingqiu just continues loving life. He's going to go buy the next aura. He's going to buy a pipe next. Level 20 has been hit, so even more wards. Shiro. They're looking for this Veno. Xingqiu.
They're going to go
Seen this before.
And this time, yep, they're not even going to kill him this time. Xingqiu plays it perfectly. Saves the buff, slides out of there, pops them on him, and he can't die.
He's just patient, right? The Demonic Purge, they don't have the damage to kill him in those 5 seconds, and then he pops the Solar Crest, then he pops the Gale Guard, then he's able to force staff into a defensive position.
Ready for the shrine here, Arme?
Might even find the Ember. Is nothing to say gonna jump?
He's not gonna jump. He wouldn't.
That would be that would be so sad for him. In the meanwhile, though, Undying has Aghanims, and he is on the prowl. He is searching for a target, and he's gonna find one.
Let's have a look.
Remnant's out, but he did see the direction that the Remnant was. He's got a ward. He's gonna ask for a Quartz to back him up. Nothing to say.
Oh, he's going for a TP.
Nope. Uh-oh.
Tide's on his way.
Ame's coming.
Is there any way out of this?
He puts the Remnant on the left side, but yeah, Ame's connecting. BKB's used.
Ame's closing in.
Dun, 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 dun.
He's in the trees somewhere. He's on.
Oh.
He's on the other. He's on the other side of the tree line. Oh, they see him now. There's the glimpse. He's going to put him back behind
Slight
the note.
dodge.
Dodges it with the slight.
He's making him work for it.
He is.
Meanwhile, in the base.
Meanwhile, the base.
XM peeping from low ground.
I mean, Undyne's just going to leave him down here.
He has no TP to get back to base.
Yeah,
he's stuck.
He's just...
Ame joining the mid lane. And there's no Ember Spirit for...
Forever.
30 seconds.
Okay, for 30 seconds. Oh, yeah, he's got another one out. Yeah. Oh, well, that's the mid-rack.
That's the mid-racks. They can definitely look to continue.
30k gold. Ready to join them in 10 seconds. Nothing to say. He's very close to having the Shivas. Full pipe now on Xingqiu.
Okay, nothing to say has to TP himself in a defensive spot, though, so he doesn't get glimpsed back down there. Okay, to be to base. Can you imagine he gets glimpsed down bottom? That would be devastating. It already is devastating, but... Nullifier on the Tide. Now they have the Dispel versus these, you know, buffs that the Darkseer usually can provide. Ame.
Planet's watching from the back lines.
Zin.
Nothing to say, tries to start something off, but immediately gets back there. Get the vacuum wall onto the three of them. Ame trying to get back over towards. Nothing to say. The BKB's popped. He'll get another sleight of fist off into the remnants. Nothing to say. Jumps back to safety. They'll take Ame out the once.
Planet tried to jump back line, so he got caught by the disruptor.
Shiro. Mr. Force Plan. They get the glimpse on him. And there's the jump Ravage. But the BKB's there in time for Shiro. The Ravage does catch on for the other two of them. Buyback comes in now from Planet. They're controlling Ame, but he still has the BKB and the Enrage ready to press if he feels pressured.
He's hanging on to that BKB. I mean, Ravage not really connecting in the best way. Great disruption from Y, but either way, they get the Raxes. And that lead just continues to grow.
And they can go again down bottom.
They sure can. They still have double BKBs ready. XM has a fresh MKB that's been delivered to for that butterfly that was purchased from Shiro.
Shiro,
the damage.
I mean, it's so much coming out from XM now with this finished MKB. Tier 3's gone. Final set of racks exposed here. It's Xtreme push on.
They still have all their BKBs at the ready, so Tidebound scared to try to jump the final racks.
Nothing says he's going to try. And with the punch up on the towards him now, Ame turns straight over towards Planet. Planet's gone. The Static Storm catches the two of them, catches Nothing to say. Ambar, the disruption will come out defensively, but it's over. GG is called. Xtreme will take this series 2-0 against Tidebound as, well, I guess the stomps from yesterday, it's flooded into the day, Fault. We're getting 2 stomps to start this one off with.
In XG, this one was